Hello, everyone. Well, today CRG finally talked about chip customization using individual colors. Yeah, just a tip, CRG, please talk to us more often about such things. Don't show us a video 5 years ago and nothing of it to be seen in the game yet. And it only took both my accounts getting banned from Spectrum. One of my accounts is still banned for a long, long time. I will show you now CRG's discussion about this. It's from today. I am already saying my goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.
All right, let's do one more big. Let's do one more big. Uh, uh, several years ago, and I think it was one of our anniversary videos. I think it was 2016, if I remember correctly. We showed off a video with Nate Dearsley demonstrating a hex code paint editor, a tool that was originally designed internally for artists on the ship team in order to help color and paint stuff. But it was said during the thing that this would be a great tool to give to org leaders and stuff. They could give out their hex codes to their players and all have a unified paint scheme and stuff like this. We have not talked about this for a while, and in the interim, we have now introduced paints that are for sale on the website. We have talked about the auto body shops that we're adding into the game, where you'll be able to take your ship and have it custom painted there. Let's take this opportunity to talk about what our goals for ship paints are at present, whether they've changed in the last 5 years. The floor is yours. Where are we moving towards here? Because it seems like we're going in a couple different directions at once.
If I'm inheriting physical damage and materials, John can answer this question.
Time to delegate back to Ben. No, it's still planned. We still want to let players paint their ships in game. There will be physical locations in the universe where you have to fly to and get your ships or vehicles painted. We do want to let players pick their colors, but we're still working out how far we go. We still want there to be some exclusivity and benefits to having these pre-made paints. Whether that is, we don't really want to lock off specific colors. That gets very messy very quickly, but maybe specific finishes or stencil patterns, they're exclusive to paints that you get rather than create yourself.
Okay. So the idea itself is not dead.
It was never dead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely something we still want to be able to support and give players the freedom to make their ships more their ships. I think at the moment, we do, we do produce a fair number of tints each year and each quarter. The system is still very much in its infancy as to where we'd like it to be, or personally where I'd like it to be. There's still a lot we can do to just add more variation. We're making an entire universe, so not all ships should be like grey and black. I mean, I'm a big fan of black. I love black, but I'll get in trouble for making every tint black. I think we, like I say, we don't want to be like, oh, we've made a blue and gold tint. Let's reserve that so that only people that have bought it can make blue and gold tints. There's got to be more to it than that. We just haven't kind of invested the time into producing that system that's going to be really accessible for the players to be able to do what they need to do. But it's not off the cards. We were quizzing Chris about it this week. I was on holiday last week and saw it blew up on Reddit, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even. What is this video? Oh, okay, and yeah.
Like Ben says, it's something we definitely want to do, and the tools we have internally are really where we want them to be. They're not quite giving us what we want. So the last thing we want to do is work on a in-game player-facing version of a tool we're not happy with, and just let people suffer that and then have to change it all down the line. We want to be happy with what we've got first, and then we'll work on the player-facing side of it. So the flow will be, like I said, you'll go to somewhere like Cousin Crow's and you'll go to a terminal and you'll you'll purchase your respray job for however many UEC, and then whether it will be hex codes or RGB values or sliders or picking swatches, we don't know yet. But you'll be doing that and going like primary this, secondary that, tertiary that.
And yeah, one of the things is you can look at a lot of competitive other games that allow kind of this sort of customization to their vehicles. The thing that I struggle to get my head around sometimes is just the sheer scale of what we're doing, and by that I mean, it's very easy to develop a system that works on much smaller ships, but then when you've got ships that they range from tens of meters up to kilometers, it's you need a system that's going to be flexible enough, or we need to make rules and put rules in place that actually, okay, these smaller ships will allow a certain level of customization versus these massive, great big ones that might not. I know a classic guy at the front of Red Dwarf, right, painting the letters on the side of his ship at the start of every episode.
Yeah, another good point related to that as well is not all the ships are set up to take paints at the moment, so we want to make sure that all ships are equal in terms of painting, because the last thing you want is, I've got a Argo MPUV and I've flown all this way to a paint shop to find out I can't paint my ship. Or if I paint my ship, what I picked red on here is sort of a weird pinky color because there was something wrong with the base material. We need to make sure all the ships can do it all at the same time, and it all applies equally, because as we've been doing these paints and tints for various events, we found like, this looks really cool on these 3 ships, but the 4th one, for some reason, looks terrible. And then we've had to go back in and reassign materials and do lots of fun things just to get it to behave how we want. So we need that in place across the board for them all before we can even consider the player side of it.
I didn't see the name, but someone just put something in the chat about de-orangifying the interior of their raft, and that's something that, again, like, we need to spend time investigating that sort of stuff. Like, from my point of view, I would absolutely love to be able to kind of have control over the interior of my ship and, just like I say, make it all dark greys and moody. But it's something we're not able to do right now. I don't know, John, you need to get some magic tech people to sprinkle the magic dust on interior OCs and brushes and everything else.
Like I say, that's another thing we want to do, is like customizing interiors. We tried it in a very obtuse way with the 300 series, letting you customize the interior, when in fact that is actually, you're just customizing the dashboard, and it changes trims in the back because they're part of the dashboard. So we can do it. It's not a great way to do it, and it absolutely doesn't scale across larger ships.
And we've tried it like internally with using our tint system within our editor, but all it does is it just gives us another version of everything, like the entire ship, and it's not able to kind of do that in the client and in game. So we can prototype this stuff, but we don't have an ability to actually put that in the live product, which is a shame, because I think it was the Star Lifter we were playing with, and we started making the different variants, and it was like, oh, this looks really cool in dark gray on the inside, but it just doubles up the entire, everything we need for the ship gets doubled, and that does not scale when we're trying to do hundreds and thousands of ships. It's just never going to happen, unfortunately.
The dark gray.
Give us something good and give us something happy to talk about, Jared. You're making me upset.
Development. It's where you try things and not everything works. Let's just put it that way.
Hey, you are still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_FFM, and this is the city I live in, Frankfurt am Main. On Twitter I post about my videos and sometimes just some funny little videos.
Action.
Would be nice if you would join me on Twitter.